Alright, guys. So, Doom Asylum from 1987, directed by Richard Friedman, is a favorite 80s horror comedy slasher of mine. This is a movie that I don't even think it was released in theaters. If it was for a very, very short time. Like, I know it was released straight to VHS. And it's been on Tubi forever now. It's almost like free domain, like type status. Like you can find this movie everywhere, like for free. But it has great gore effects in it, and it's hilariously bad. Like it's hilariously atrocious. Like this movie, like it's just one of those movies that you just gotta have the same type of taste and sense of humor for bad movies. I do, I guess, and others who love this movie to enjoy it. But if you've seen this movie, you know what I'm talking about. It is absolutely bizarre. It is just ridiculous, and it is so enjoyable. So we have the car accident at the beginning with Mitch and Judy. They get in this car accident. Mitch is a lawyer, and they were getting married, or they were married, or what? I think they were married, yeah. And Judy ends up dying in this accident. She even gets her hand severed off, which Mitch keeps. And he's in the morgue, and they're doing an autopsy on Mitch, and then one of the coroners notices that his finger's moving and that he's still alive. And this is like after they like took his fucking skin over his head and like fucked with his brain and stuff. So like he's all disfigured now after this. And the effects on the killer, on Mitch in this, yeah, they look fucking cartoony as shit, and like, but they look alright. Like they look cool. Like for the tone of this movie and the type of movie it is, all the effects and everything work great for this movie. Just for being a comedic slasher film, like it works very, very well. And even some of the kills have gore that is pretty fucking good. That rivals the serious slashers of the 80s. So there's some good stuff in here. And Mitch ends up killing both of the coroners in the morgue, and he becomes like a legend of this phantom or ghost or whatever, this madman that lives in this asylum and goes around killing people with autopsy tools and drills and shit like that. And it's become like this legend that people know of, and even when the group of friends are driving over there, they keep on listing things. They're like, yeah, but didn't you hear about the story about like this person went there and they never came back, and like, didn't you hear about this, and didn't you hear about this thing? And they might as well kept going. Like didn't you hear about the news report of like the 20 kids who were killed here 2 weeks ago? And like, didn't you hear that interview by the killer himself that like was like, they keep going on with excuses and like examples of why this place definitely should not be fucked with and gone to. And they're just fucking saying it like so nonchalantly, so like it's nothing. Like, okay. Then on the way there, Kiki and Mike visit Kiki's mom's grave, who's Judy from the car accident from the beginning. So that's the whole little relation here. And then just the dialogue, man, it's just so ridiculous. And it's so fucking stupid, but it's so funny. Like, first of all, Mike's character, which is this guy can't decide on anything. It reminds me of Analyze This, when he's talking to the client in his office, and he's saying like, you can't make your mind up. He's like, you're right, I can't. He's like, do you have any idea why that? No, I don't. Like, he's just like that, man. Like, this guy Mike cannot make his mind up for anything. He's like, maybe we can go if you want. Or should we? Well, if you want to, but maybe we should stay here. But we couldn't, like, the whole movie, this guy is like this. So if that sounds annoying, and if you're watching a spoiler thing when you haven't seen it for some reason, like I always say, don't fucking get your hopes up, but it's fucking hysterical to me. And then like the whole mom thing, with him just saying to her, like, I know it's hard, you lost your mom, and like, but I'm here if that's any consolation, and like, I know I'm not your mom, but I can try to be. And she's like, can I call you mom? And he's like, of course. And then like the rest of the whole fucking movie, she's calling him mom. Like in some dire situations too. Like in some situations where like the joke just would stop. Like in any normal situation. The joke would be discontinued, pause it for the time being, we got a fucking situation. Nope, fucking throughout the whole movie, he is now mom to her for some strange reason. And again, the dialogue is just hilariously atrocious through the majority of this movie. Just the things they come out with and say is just, it's fucking ridiculous. And then the music that the band, the 3-girl band is playing, Tina and the Tots, I think, something like that, fucking is just like the most atrocious music you've ever heard. Like, it sounds like it's trying to be some type of like heavy punk, heavy metal, but with like the singing Tina does in this band, if you can even call it singing, is fucking grating to the ears, like, so badly. Like, this is the worst fucking music ever. Like, it's so bad. And no wonder why they're playing in fucking doom asylums, places that have been condemned and shut down, and not playing any real shows, because nobody is fucking booking them, like, for sure. And then Darnell, just the whole character of Darnell is fucking amazing in this movie. And it sucks he's only in it for the first 25-30 minutes, but he is fucking hysterical, man. And some of my favorite scenes and laughs in this movie is the daydreams between him and, now I forget her name, it's either Godiva or something else, like not Tina, the main chick in the band, and there's the black one, and then there's the other blonde one. The two of them, they like say their names maybe like once in the whole movie, and like they might even say it like together, like you and you. So like you still don't know which is which. But if they called the black one Godiva, dude, that's fucked up, and that's hilarious at the same time. I mean, yeah, Godiva chocolate, it's like the best chocolate there is. So like that's like an honor being named after Godiva chocolate. If it was Hershey's or some shit, then I'd be a little pissed that you named my black character Hershey. But Godiva, still laugh every time I think that's her name, like, unless it's the other one and they just like switched it around like on purpose. But Godiva, that's fucking hysterical. But Darnell's his whole daydream when he first sees her up there, and he's just like looking, and then he's just running through the fields with his hands like this. And then you see Godiva running through with her hands up like this, and they're running in the same direction, like not towards each other. Like, behind me is like a big tree line for both of when they're running. The tree line's behind Darnell when he's running out, and it's behind Godiva when she's running. So they're both running this way from the same direction, but they still meet up together like they're running towards each other. It's so fucking funny, man. That's hilarious. And it happens like another time too, like when Godiva starts having the same fucking fantasy. And it's the same fantasy. It's Darnell running through, and then her running back to him, and then they like swoop into each other's arms. Oh, it's so funny. That's some funny shit. And then Tina's laugh is fucking insane. Like, it's like she just always like breaks out into this maniacal cackle, like ha ha ha. Like, it sounds like an evil, like a bad, evil supervillain female version from like the 50s or 60s. Like, just one of those like ha ha ha. And then she always after that like has to let out like a breath of fresh air or something. Like she did her job for the day. Like, she'll do that and then she'll go ah, like. It's so fucking stupid. It's so annoying. It's so funny though. And they really keep going with the mom thing, yep. And we get some Tina tits. She just, for some reason, to try to get this group away from them that are half male, she just lifts and says, take these with you, and just shows her tits off, thinking that's the way to get rid of them. I guess, I don't know. Then still with the mop thing, but when they throw the balloons filled with the condoms filled with water as water balloons and stuff down at them, and it breaks all over that one kid's baseball cards that he's way too upset about, and then it falls on the blanket, and fucking Mike picks up the condom and shows it to Kiki. He's like, so what do you say? And he's like, Mom, that's incest. And he's like, Kiki, come here. You're still going with that. And for like I said, the whole movie, this guy is mom. I mean, he's at one point when they're fighting, when Tina and Mike are fighting on the roof, and he's like hanging from the roof, like about to drop to his death or to severe injury. They're looking up at him, like Kiki and Jane, who is Kristen Davis, right? Is that her name? Fucking the girl from Sex and the City that no one gives a fuck about. My fucking sister used to love that show. Can't stand that show. Charlotte, I think her name was in the show. So pretty sure it's Kristen Davis. This is her first movie. There's her and Kiki are sitting there on the lawn. They're looking up at, and they say, "Isn't that Mom up there, like hanging, like about to fall?" And like Jane, Kristen Davis's character, is like, yeah, that is Mom. It's like, seriously? Now you're in on the mom joke too? And like, this is not the time to be... Like, he's really hanging like he's about to die. Like, he's definitely falling off that roof soon. He doesn't, but he should have. Because there's no way he's just hanging there like that for no reason. And I like all the band graffiti all over the place in this movie. You have Ozzy Osbourne and Dead Zeppelin instead of Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, Ozzy Osbourne, Black Sabbath, Metallica. You can see Metallica's Kill 'Em All artwork or graffiti like earlier on. Cool having all bands that I grew up with and love painted all over the place. And then Darnell gets killed with, I don't even know what that is, like a head grip or clamp or whatever. It just clamps on both sides and just like fucking kills him. And the killer is just like, he always has like a one-liner or some shit after every kill in this movie, which they don't really land like much at all. But he's just like, I don't like rap music, and don't call me honey. And every time I hear that, it's don't call me Shirley from Airplane. Like, oh, you can't not hear it as that. Like every time he says it. And so Darnell is unfortunately killed off, and then this girl band, the three of them, they play chess. I find that so hard to believe. Just like with Tina's character alone. Maybe Godiva. I could see Godiva getting down with some chess sometime. I don't know why I said it like that. But I can't see Tina, like, at all. Or the other one. So maybe... I still can't believe why I said it that way. So fucking Godiva, she might be a fucking chess player. The other two, they ain't playing chess. Get the fuck out of here. Enough, too, that they carry around like a fucking makeshift chessboard to fit on the fucking snare drum of the drum set so that they can play there, like on their break. Get out of here. There's no way they're playing fucking chess. And then the blonde has her head dunked into the acid. Looks really cool, actually. Like the effects of her face eating away stuff. Again, comically looking, yeah, a bit. Still looks really good. Still better than I'd rather have like the effects and kills in this movie in like a movie like Graduation Day that I recently covered. Or any of those 80s slashers that have like no kills, that they're just all off screen. So I would have this type of fucking gore all day long. Like all day. And some of it's really good looking. But that kill also reminds me of the liquid nitrogen kill with Jason and Jason X. When he just takes her head and shoves into the liquid nitrogen. But that one is the cooler part of her smashing her fucking face afterwards and falling apart. He just holds it down in the acid and then it's all fucking decomposed. And she's like, right before that, she's like, wait, I'm a Republican. I voted for Reagan. That shit's funny. And then the kid, I forget his name, runs after his Wade Boggs baseball card, and he gets the drill through his forehead. That looks fucking great. Like, I think that kill looks really, really good. Like, real good kill. You just see the drill going right up against his forehead and drills right in. The blood starts coming down. Really good kill. Really good effects work. And Mitch saves and caresses himself, apparently, with Judy's hand from the accident that they were in from the beginning. He saved her decrepit fucking corpse hand, apparently, and touches his face with it. You know he's jerking off with that hand. Like, come on. Like, there's no other option. Like, this guy lives in solidarity all by himself in this fucking mental asylum that's been fucking condemned for years and has no one around ever, no release, nothing. And he has this obsession with his wife that died in the accident and why he's killing these kids that keep coming to this asylum. And he has a TV, so I mean, you got something. But he's got his ex-lover's fucking hand. He's fucking that hand. Like, let's not joke at all. Like, he's, we know he is. Let's just move on past the thought. And Tina and Mike fighting is just hysterical. And then with Godiva having, I really hope her name's Godiva. like in this case, and that it isn't switched the other way around. But Godiva the whole time while the two of them are fighting in the most ridiculous way possible. Like, and she's just daydreaming like Darnell, like, like I wonder if he practices safe sex. Like, it's so fucking stupid, so funny. And then when she goes looking for Darnell, she's like, I'm just a lonely chocolate single too. Fucking, it's funny. And then she gets strangled with the stethoscope, which is fucking stupid. No type of kill. She just like, but it's funny because then she's like still talking, like thinking like it's Darnell and that he's like playing some type of like fucking rape fantasy or some shit, and like he's strangling her from behind. She's like, I just wanted to go on a few dates with you. Oh, it's so fucking ridiculous, this movie. Then we get the bone saw kill on Jane is my favorite kill in this movie. And actually, that is the channel banner for this whole month that it's been for Slasher September. Is fucking Jane with the fucking bone saw. And just, it looks really fucking cool, actually. Like, of course, you could tell it's a fucking dummy head, and that's like with most of the 80s shit. But she gets the bone saw right to the side of her face, and it cuts into her face and into her mouth and stuff. It looks fucking cool. Like, I really, really like that kill. And then Mike and Kiki find Darnell, and there's fucking stupid lie. Kiki's like, there's Darnell, and Mike's like, yeah, what's left of him? It's his whole body. Like, that's not like what's left of that's Darnell. Like, there's nothing missing from him. Like, we saw earlier how he died. He just got the fucking thing squeezed into his fucking temples. So he's all there. Like, it's all Darnell. So I don't know what that line's about, what's left of him, because it's all of him in the bathtub that they find his body in. Like, every piece of him is there and accounted for by me on this watch, just to make sure I didn't get that wrong. He's all there. Then Kiki beating Mike, asking where Jane is, like after he doesn't tell her right away that Jane got killed, and fucking Kiki starts like beating his ass up against the door and stuff, and like, what happened to Jane? Like, tell me what happened to Jane. And like, he like can't talk because he tries to say one thing and he changes his mind and says another thing like he always does in the whole fucking movie. That's funny. Then they're praying in the asylum. Instead of just getting the fuck out of there, they decide to just sit down and pray. I don't know. Like, you think get the fuck out of there would be the first thing on the list. Pray all you want later. Nope, they just sit down in this predicament and start praying to God. And then she has such a funny fucking line. And Kiki's sitting there, she's like, God, if you help us through this, I promise I'll give you whatever you want. Money, sex. So she's going to fuck God if she gets out of this. But if she gets out of this, she's not going to die. So she's not going to meet supposed God. Unless it's like an IOU. Like, get me out of this now, God. And I swear, if you do exist and heaven is real and all that shit, when I hit 70, 80, if I don't get into a similar situation or hit by a fucking bus or a plane crashes on my house in the next 50, 60 years, when I get to you, I will get down and I will I will make good on my promise to you, I swear. So this is basically what she's praying about and praying to God for. And cool shot, actually, of Mitch in the tunnel with the lantern when, like, he's coming down the tunnels and he's, well, I mean, I pretty much described it. He's holding the lantern. It's a cool shot, though. I like how they shot that. And then he ends up capturing Kiki and Mike and ends up tying up both of them in some weird contraptions. And Mike is, like, on a table in, like, the autopsy room. And then he just starts cutting Mike's toes off, man. That shit looks fucking pretty good too, but just like the implication, like the thought it puts in your mind, like to make it even more brutal, fucked up. And like, and the guy's singing fucking "This Little Piggy Went to Market" while he's cutting off each of the toes, but it looks good. Like, if you saw a guy getting tortured by his toes getting cut off in another movie, like nowadays, you wouldn't be seeing the toes being cut off and blood squirting out and shit. I'd give you that. So I give the movie that. Then Tina, like, disables the killer, Mitch, and gets him to the ground, and she rescues Kiki, and they go to leave, and Tina, like, accidentally flips this on switch on this compactor, and she falls onto a conveyor belt, and she just gets taken away. like on this conveyor belt for mad long. Like this woman couldn't have rolled off the conveyor belt or like just pushed herself down like as it's bringing her up, like move down, like work against it, like going down an escalator the wrong way, like something. Because you know that you're not headed anywhere great. Like she doesn't see where she's going. She's facing the other way, so she doesn't know what the fuck she's going into. But you know it's not good. So it's not good. Like so, like do something. Get out of that predicament. She does nothing, and she has a lot of time to do so too. She has like 30 fucking seconds that she's on this conveyor belt for. And then we see her go through the thing, and she comes out compressed as just a fucking cube of human flesh and remains, with her hand sticking out of the top of the cube. Dude, it's fucking awesome. I love that. That's so funny. Then Mitch thinks Kiki is Judy, and that's why he's doing all this, because he's out of his love for Judy, his wife, which is Kiki's mother, and they have a whole chase sequence, and then Kiki stabs him in the eye, and that looks good too. Like, why do I keep saying that? All the gore looks good in this movie. Anything that has gory effects in this, all the kills, which are most of them, that are on screen, except for like the stethoscope strangle shit. And like the coroners at the beginning. There's a lot of cool fucking deaths in this movie. So I don't know why I keep having to defend that. Because fuck you, I'm not defending anything. Good effects, good kills in this movie. Especially for like a slasher comedy. Then after stabbing him in the eye multiple times, we have the old movie that like keeps playing like in certain scenes, like splice into the movie, that Mitch watches downstairs in his little basement room that I guess he lives in this asylum on his free time when he's not murdering people. And they for some reason they just keep showing like cuts of this film and stuff. It does like kind of like reflect like what's happening in the movie, like things that happen on the film in the film that he's watching, to like reflect what's happening in the movie. But it's not really needed. And then the movie ends on just like one of the scenes from the movie in the movie. If any of that made sense at all. But fucking it ends on the in-film movie that Mitch has been watching. And all of that is whatever. They could have trimmed all of that out. But this is like an hour and 20-minute movie, like as is. So I don't think they could have trimmed it. If anything, that's the reason all that shit's there, is to make this an hour and 20 minutes. But what a fun film, man. Like, for people who love just stupid slashers that are just filled with just atrocious dialogue and just funny lines and great kills for the most part and good effects and just like a fun time. Doom Asylum, such a great movie. I love rewatching it whenever I get a chance to, and definitely knew I was doing it this month. That's why I picked the Jane kill for the fucking channel, for the banner. But yeah, I'm gonna have one more up after this. That one I actually have to watch, as I watched all three of these yesterday, today, and I'll have it up. It's only 1 o'clock in the morning. That's fine. Yeah, I'll have it up in a few hours. But hope everyone's having a good day, night, wherever you're from, and I will talk to y'all soon. Bye bye.